up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, with our co-host here, Tyler Louse.
Hello.
Let's get right into the interview. Now, today we have a special guest, world-renowned ex-president of the United States, George Washington. Say hello, George.
Good afternoon. How you kind folks doing today?
We're doing great, George. Thanks for coming in on History Alert for this interview.
Oh, it's no problem. Did you know I inherited my first slaves at age 11?
No, I had no idea. I had a small thought of you owning them later in life, but never so young. Astonishing.
Yes, indeed. And were you aware at a young age it was wrong?
No, as a matter of fact. As a young boy, I grew up in a society that reinforced the notion that slavery is both right and natural. My parents and neighbors owned slaves. By the time of my birth, slavery was an ingrained aspect of Virginia life. For nearly a century, an indispensable part of the economic, social, legal, cultural, and political fabric of the colony.
Wow, interesting stuff. Now, the wig, is that all real?
Now that's a common misconception. This beautiful hair is, in fact, all real. You see, I powdered my hair. Originally, I was a redhead. Powdering one's hair was another custom of my time.
So how is the family? Sorry that was rude. Do you have a family? What is life like with them?
No problem at all. I never had a biological children. I do have.
It's okay.
A rather large family comprised of many siblings, stepchildren, and grandchildren. I'd rather not go into the long list, but to name a few, my father's name is Augustine Washington, and my mother's name was Mary Ball Washington. Both my parents were planters and slave owners, while my mom managed the plantation. Like my father, I don't have a middle name, but my mother Mary does.
Now, I understand that this may be kind of hard for you, living in this time and day and age, but can you tell us something that not many know about you, George?
Well, to begin, many mistake my birthday was not February 22nd, 1732. It was in fact February 11th, 1731. I was born in Virginia. Reason for that is according to the then used Julian calendar. In 1752, however, Britain and all of its colonies adopted the Gregorian calendar, which moved my birthday a year and 11 days to February 22nd, 1732.
Okay, now tell us about your greatest strengths and weaknesses as ex-president and head of the army.
Okay, to commence, one of my greatest strengths was manpower. I commanded a large American army and won many wars with this great strength in which I once possessed. However, not my proudest, honest moment. The cons outweighed my pros. For example, a few of my weaknesses are, out of the many, I couldn't garner enough qualified and...
It's okay, George. Keep going.
Sorry, I was having flashbacks. And capable men for the army to fight the British. This has led to many of the battles I've initiated being a failure.
Whoa, no need to roast yourself there, Georgie.
Now we all know that you built the democracy in the United States on the foundation in which it is today. How did you manage all this? Because to our understanding, this is a major accomplishment.
We're sorry, this is not funny.
Task.
It's a studio. We're having difficulties with one of our employees.
Let's continue on.
Yes.
Well, it was very challenging because our democratic government was extremely experimental. It was tough because it was my job to balance order without there being anarchy in the colonies. It was a lot of testing to see what worked and didn't throughout my governancy.
Very interesting stuff. Now, a few more questions, starting with how did you manage to get all of your men across the Delaware River? Now, I know that some 5,400 troops, were assisted across the river. How did you do it?
Before I get into too much detail, I must say that I had 3 river crossings planned, but one of them actually worked. For the crossing, I used multiple cargo boats and ferries to get across with my soldiers. We used flat-bottomed rafts like cargo boats to get our artillery across the river. It was extremely difficult because as time passed, I fell terrifyingly behind schedule and closer to be taken out by the British.
Okay, I believe that wraps up every question we have for you. Once again, thanks for coming in on History Alert today. We look forward to seeing you again.
Oh, it's truly no problem at all. Thanks for inviting me to on History Alert. Truly happy to be here today.
Well, signing off for now, I am Alex C. Slack.
I am Tyler Laux.
Have a great afternoon. Thank you for tuning in on History Alert Nation.
Oh my god, that wig was at all. Thank you for inviting me to be on History Alert. I was truly happy to be here today.
Well, signing off for now, I am Alex C. Slack.
I am Tyler Laux.
Have a great afternoon.
Oh, crap.
Thank you for tuning in on History
I'm
Alert.
so sorry.
Oh, what are you doing?
Hey,
What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, along with our co-host, Tyler Laux.
Hello.
Let's get right into What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, along with our co-host today, Tyler Laux. Say hello, Tyler.
Hello.
What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack. Today we have a special guest, world-renowned ex-president of the United States of America, George Washington. Say hello, George.
Good afternoon. How you kind folks doing here? Wait, did
You forgot my line anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yep.
Shit, I did. What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack. Let's get... What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, along with our co-host, Tyler Laux.
Hello.
Let's get right into the interview. Today we have a special guest, world-renowned ex-president of the United States of America, George Washington. Say hello, George.
Good afternoon. How you kind folks doing today?
We're doing great, George. Thanks for coming on History Alert for this interview.
That's you.
Okay.
I thought it was me, but it's you.
Remember, I highlighted this for... What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, along with our co-host here today, Tyler Laux.
Hello.
Never mind, I guess I don't remember lines. What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your
Nigga, I just started 3, 2, 1, and you started.
What?
Stop. I know. I was looking at you though. Okay. 2, 1. I know something of the world will change for me and feel so wonderful. Is up, History Alert Nation? Stop! What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack. Let's make this into the blooper. That wasn't necessary.
So what's?
What is up, Drama Alert? No, yeah, that's not Drama Alert. What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, along with our co-host, Tyler Laux.
Hello.
Let's get right into... What the fuck are you doing? No. What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack, along with our co-host, Tyler Laux.
Hello.
Let's get right into the interview. Now, today we have a special
Mommy?
guest, George Washington.
Hi.
What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack. Got it! Why? United States of America, George Washington. Say hello, George.
Good afternoon. How you kind folks are doing today?
Cut.
What is up, History Alert?
The dang cat wheel thing.
Cut! You gotta stop adjusting. Like, you gotta quit.
All right.
Alright. What is up, History Alert Nation? I'm your host, Alex C. Slack. Now we got our co-host here, Tyler Laux. Did I? Oh,
Hello.
no.